Yes, now, people, welcome back to James Redmond TV. I am here with the one, the only man like Nick. How are we, brother? We are here for another LFC talk show. It's right. We're here for another LFC talk show, and lateness is greatness. Basically, I was supposed to do a show at 6, and a lot of people was waiting, and I was asleep. My bad. I apologise. We are here. We are ready. And we've got a lot of juicy topics to get into. But Nick, like I said, my mates, how are we, brother? I'm looking forward to today's show.
We're good, man. We're good. Listen, we're here. That's all that counts. You know what I mean? We're here, man. And we got a lot of juicy topics. So don't worry. It's worth the wait, man. Don't worry, man.
It was worth the wait, people. Nick's channel is the link in the description. I would put it in the title, but it doesn't bloody save it.
So TV. Come give me a shout.
LFC TV. Go and subscribe to there. Great channel, great content, and you'll see me there very, very soon. Shout out to everyone who's in the stream. I've just saw a flood of comments. Is right there, boys. Everyone's here. Yeah, no, I'm 2 hours late. I do apologise.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean? But we're here now. We're
here now. Well, that matters.
But no, this is the topics that we're going to run through in today's show. So we're going to touch on the marvellous win that was Sheffield 0, Liverpool 2 yesterday. Absolutely still buzzing about that. So we're going to be celebrating there. Few topics on that game. We're going to talk about, obviously, what's in the title, about Jurgen Klopp, how certain or uncertain is his future at Liverpool Football Club. And if he is to leave, then maybe Gerrard could be the answer, but we'll talk about that and more on the show. And then we're going to look ahead to Chelsea and also a little bit of transfer news to round up the show at the end. In fact, you know what? We'll jump into the transfer news straight away before we talk about Sheffield. Everyone likes a good bit of transfer news. Do you know what I mean, Nick? It's one of them. So I've been hearing reports about Raphael Varane. Nick, I don't know if you've seen these reports.
Yeah.
If you ask me, would I take Varane? Yes. Do I know he's going to have extortionate wages? Yes. Do I care? No. Why? Because he's boss. Nick, if we could get Raphael Varane, I have a different level of confidence when it comes to this squad. Simply for the fact, even if we didn't have a Van Dijk, but we had a Varane, I'm fine with that. It's like replacing a Lamborghini, like a Lamborghini with a Ferrari. Not the same, but it's not bad.
But they're both fucking mint.
But they're both sick, though. Do you know what I mean, lad? Like, they're both quality, and they both can do the job. They can both do the job. That's the way I kind of look at it. So, I'm not going to lie. I look at this transfer news. I don't know how much substance there is. I don't think it will happen, because that's what people will ask. They'll say, will it happen?
46?
What was that, Nick?
Is it 46 they're muting?
Yeah, something like that.
Around that, innit? Around 46 million, which isn't so bad for the level of player that you're getting, if I'm honest with you. But I'm with you. I'm in your camp. I don't quite think it's going to happen. Do I want it to happen? Fuck yes, man. I would honestly think of a back line of Van Dijk and Varane, and then you've got
insane.
Oh, come on, man. It would be ridiculous. And unlike the cover we got now, which is like, could it be? It could be maybe in the future. And
yeah.
Varane is top draw. Like you said, what's the difference between a Lamborghini and a Ferrari, man? Pull up and, do you know what I mean? They're getting the knickers wet.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like,
no, it's facts.
So, yeah, I'm definitely, but I caveat that with, no, I don't possibly think. I really rate Kayute. Is it Kanute? Kayate?
Oh, Kanate from Leipzig.
I think he's absolutely top draw. If I'm to believe what I hear, I think he's got a release clause which is less than what Varane is, and I don't really think we're sniffing around that. So just trying to put it, do you know what I mean?
No, I do hear what you're saying. From Mo, 50 mil for Madrid to raise funds for Mbappe and Haaland. That's the thing as well. It's actually realistic and possible that we could go out and maybe even take a Real Madrid player, because, like I said, he is going to want a good bit chunk of wages. But if Raphael Varane isn't looking too far in that direction, 40-50 million shouldn't be too out or too far away from our pay grade.
No,
especially with the fact we're looking on having a big spend in summer. Like what I keep hearing from these FSG optimists is we're going to spend loads, so it's all right. So they're just going to prove you wrong, James. It's like, Well, we don't know that. But if they are going to spend, when you're telling me 40 to 50 million for a Raphael Varane, a Champions League, a serial Champions League winner, multiple times winning the league with Real Madrid and being an integral part in doing so, is he better than Van Dijk? No, but no one is. So you've got to get the next best thing.
We don't need
the next best thing. And Raphael's
better what we've got right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is, and then some. Do you know what I mean? Imagine having Varane and Thiago and that quality, that ilk, people of that ilk in a team.
And at the end of the day, we know it's going to be the end of the road for a Matip soon. Joe Gomez keeps getting injuries, whatnot. Varane's going to get game time. And people might think we're being unrealistic when we're talking about our thing, but why not, man? Why can't we? Especially if we get top 4, especially if we have a decent run in the Champions League, why can't we get Raphael Varane?
Like you said, you hit the nail on the head. For all of these FSG optimists, if we're going to have a big summer, then there isn't, I think that's money, that's wise money well spent. Do you know what I mean? And I'd love to be proved wrong, and I'm sure you're the same. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. No, definitely, that's 100%. Well, do you know what? That's the rumours around Raphael Varane. I think everyone would say that they'd take him. Everyone in the comments, make sure you're letting us know in the live chat as well. Shout out to everyone who's here. Make sure you're smashing the like. Make sure you subscribe. I know we were supposed to do the show earlier, but we are finally here, people, and we do appreciate it. Apparently, Everton are 1-0 up, which just is not ideal. But we won't talk about them because it's the LFC Talk Show, so it is what it is. Why is my dog barking? Do you know how much of a bitch my dog is, isn't it? And I know it's literally a bitch because it's a dog, but I mean, honestly, bro, it just barks constantly during shows, and it's annoying. Ruby, shut your mouth. Fucking bitch. Fucking bitch, innit? Oh, mate. Can you hear her?
Yeah, I can hear her.
No way. Well, sorry for the people who that might be annoying, but hopefully she'll shut up soon. But I feel like a good place to start off with, besides the transfers, is the game yesterday, 2-0 against Sheffield United. Solid win, 3 points, clean sheet. I want to talk about one player in particular, though. Curtis Jones. Curtis motherfucking Jones. And we need to have the emphasis, Nick. We need to have the emphasis with the Curtis motherfucking Jones.
Yeah, mate.
And we can talk about everything that he's done on the pitch in a good second, but let me just talk about the post-match interview first. Coming out after that game, showing the level-headedness of coming off basically winning his team the game and still being able to put it out there that performance today, it was for Alisson, it was for his father. Still to basically just say, that was for you, bro. I understand it's a very easy thing to do, to say words. It's another thing when you mean it, but you could see he really meant it. And you can see that Alisson's a big part of the squad. And to someone like Curtis, a young figure like Curtis, he's a big influence. And not only that, it's not only important to see that, it's important to see that the young players in our squad have that level of respect and they have that awareness type of thing. Because anyone could have got that winner against Sheffield and came out in that, but it was Curtis, and he was the one who said that for Alisson. I was just touched by it, Nick. I don't know what you think, but I just thought it was amazing. And it looks like we haven't just got a player who technically wise is fantastic, but he looks like to be a proper gem as well.
No, you're right, man. Listen, I know we're going to get onto what he did in the game, but I just couple everything you said in terms of the attributes that he shows off the pitch. He's just a leader. There's a reason why me, certain man, do you know what I mean? Drifty, certain man have just been calling this guy is a future captain. Yeah, he's good on the pitch, but besides that, it's just having that at the end of the day, he's 19 years old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine being 19 and scoring and having a good enough game, man of the match game, scoring the winner. That in itself is excitement enough, but to be grounded enough to be listen, this is for, like you said, it's something else. To have stinkers, let's be honest, he's not a golden boy, he's not a golden child. He's had 1 or 2 games that people have been listen, it wasn't great. He's picked himself up, do you know what I mean? He's gone on, he's made himself, in my eyes, I don't know about you, but in my eyes, he's undroppable in that midfield right now. And I just think and again, I know I don't want to preempt things. I know we're going to talk about kind of the new crop of English players, but I just feel like when you look in the team in which he's playing for, with Premier League champions, he's got the ilk of Thiago in the midfield, and this guy is just
he's the one grabbing the game by the balls. He's coming to a team of champions, and even Thiago in himself might not be with Liverpool, but he's a champion.
He's a champion.
League dictator.
he's next gravy, that guy. Do you know what I mean?
Champions League dictator is
Come on.
what Thiago is, and it's Curtis Jones. Even through the losses recently, Nick, that has been stepping up. He's been the one who's came into a game. Yeah, get on this. Manchester City, when we lost 4-1, that was a prime example
Everyone was
of
like,
a game. Bro, and it was like, we lost that game, but when Curtis went off, that was where the capitulation really started to happen. I'm not saying it was directly because of Curtis, but
no, you're right.
And then even Leicester, a week later, 3-1 loss.
Yep.
It's 1-1 when Curtis is on the pitch. Once he goes off, bam.
Like we lose that impetus. We lose that drive.
It's mad. And another thing, when the team is showing a complete lack of confidence, which going into this game, starting from Adrian alone should give the team a lot less confidence. Yeah. Or on top of the fact they're also in bad form. You've also got to mention that for the team to grab the team by the balls, drive in the midfield, because you see Genie, who can drive, but he doesn't do it enough. I thought he's done a great job against Sheffield, but overall, he doesn't do it enough. Yeah, Thiago, he's not that type of player. And then you've got Curtis. Curtis is the one who will take... He is the closest thing that we've had to a Coutinho. And I don't mean flair-wise.
No, exactly
skill-wise. But in terms of just actually getting the ball and having a shot outside the box. Like trying to create it.
Like Ox, kind of prime Ox when we had him. Do you know what I mean?
When he first joined,
that kind of impetus, man. No, listen, I couple everything you're saying, and that guy, to have that swag, to have the confidence, honestly, man, he's good. I'm glad. I'm hoping, even though I do say that he's undroppable in the midfield, and then caveat that with, I hope that our midfield does kind of bolster up a little bit so that we're able to kind of give him the rest that he needs, because like I said, he is 19 at the end of the day, and you know what I mean? We want to look after him. But
facts. Mate, I was buzzing with Curtis Jones yesterday. Thought defensively sound, offensively sound. Don't know if you want to add anything on when it comes to Curtis Jones there, Nick, and his performance yesterday against Sheffield, but he was just unreal, man. He was unplayable. And you said it. One word, undroppable.
Definitely. And that's not because of anything other than the performances in which he showed. Like you said, not so much the game yesterday, only because I feel like we started to do some good things as a unit. But when we weren't, it was very clear to see how what he brought. And even in the game, even against Sheffield, you could see that like you said, it was just the confidence. He doesn't snatch at shots. Do you know what I mean? He takes it. Do you know what I mean? And it's just, I could wax lyrical about this guy for a good 30, 40
Listen, there is a Curtis Jones choo-choo train, and me and Nick are very much all aboard. Motherfuckers. That motherfucker. Oh, mate, I'm loving every second of it, because at least in a time of absolute shit, we can try, because in a time of darkness, you can see anything that's a light type of thing. Curtis Jones is the brightest light we've got at the club in this current moment. He's literally taking a team of champions and he's showing them all up. In terms of effort, that's what he's doing, mate. But, and again, this goes to the people in the chat. Before we move on and talk about other performances, just while we're on the topic of Curtis Jones, where does he rank, Nick, in the because I had this conversation with Tottenham Toby this morning, and what I came to the conclusion, I put him in this category. So Curtis Jones, Phil Foden, Mason Greenwood, Saka, and Mason Mount. Them 5 players, I said, rank them players first to fifth. How would you sort of do that? This is the way I done it. I went Phil Foden number 1. I love Phil Foden. Then I put Saka at number 2. Then I put Mason Mount number 3. Curtis Jones number 4, and Mason Greenwood number 5. Reasons being, and haters will say it's because I'm a Liverpool fan, so why I put Mason Greenwood below Curtis Jones. But on current form,
you know what I mean? You would have bumped up Curtis higher, so do you know what I mean?
Bro, on current form, you can't deny it. You cannot deny it. Curtis Jones has had an undoubtedly better season than Mason Greenwood. I'm not going to say he's been better than Mason Mount, because he hasn't. Mason Mount is probably the best Chelsea player at the moment. Not just under 21s, under 20. He's the best player for them. Same with Curtis Jones to an extent, but Mason Mount's been doing that for years. Phil Foden, we know the quality of a Phil Foden. Saka, we know what he's doing for Arsenal. So I feel like the only way Curtis catches up with them is time. But right now, he's still doing everything he needs to be doing. I want to know what you think, though, Nick. Where would you put Curtis Jones within that list?
Funny that. I would have a couple of changes, but
Okay.
I would put him exactly where you did. The only changes I have are, do you know what I mean? I personally,
Yeah, say your list. Even if you have Curtis where I have, say your list.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I would have Saka as number one. I would have Mason Mount as two. I think Saka is just a different baller. He's just baller. Like, and I think we don't need to spend too much time kind of, saying much about Saka. I do think, shout out my guy, One Touch TV, who does some Arsenal content. And I have this back and forth with him. And I do say, like, with Saka, he's amazing, but I feel like his progression has been aided very, very like nicely by the fact that like Arsenal are dead food. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from how good he is, but he's had a lot of. Do you know what I mean? They've not had a lot of options. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas like with Curtis, mate, he was banging in screamers against Everton, not needed in our Liverpool midfield, and saying, yo, listen, I'm here to play. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want more minutes. Do you know what I mean? And so he's really doing things in, like I said, in the Championship. So I rate him. Second up, I know your eyebrows went up, and like, I've got to be honest, man, I wasn't always a big fan, especially because I got a couple of Chelsea fans, and they always like Mason Mount this, Mason Mount that. And then I started to watch, and I'm like, yo, James, bro, this guy can ball, bro. Like,
he's a baller.
He's a baller. Ball. And he has been the best player in Chelsea over even under Tuchel, he's still the best player. With Frankie was the best player. This guy came from Derby, bro. Like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, nah, you know what? He can actually ball. I'm looking at Havertz. I'm thinking, if Havertz had more of what Mason Mount was bringing to the pitch, we'd be eulogizing. So I'm gonna put Mason Mount there, and I'll put Foden a very close third. I think Foden's up there. I don't need to say much. He's doing bits. And yeah, like I said, I just think I agree. Curtis just needs to carry on doing what he's doing, get the minutes, and just be as influential as and he'll. Do you know what I mean? He'll be there, man.
He's the man. No love for Curtis Jones on this show. He's literally just got about half an hour of talking about him. I'm rightly so. Rightly so,
bro.
Rightly damn so.
You can't be 19 doing big boy things and we're gonna brush past that, man. Like,
we can't just touch over that. I've got to give it the respect.
And you're a homegrown lad. Like, come on, bro.
He's literally one of us. He's one of our only other scouts in the team.
On, man.
He's bringing a bit of roots. He's bringing the roots to the side. But people, smash the likes. Make sure you go subscribe to LFC Saint LFC TV in the link in the description. Nick's channel. Make sure you go subscribe to that. Smash a like on the video as well. Okay, next person I want to talk about. Well, actually, this is the way I put it when I put it on my list. No Alisson. No Kelleher. No problemo.
No problemo.
Adrian was absolutely. He was solid. He was just. I'm not going to say it was a world-class performance. I felt like he should have made the saves that he made.
Yeah.
I thought from corners, I thought he'd done everything he needed to do from corners. So I'm not going to lie to you, Nick. I was very sound with him there. I just didn't have an issue with it. And also, people tend to get carried away with expecting a certain amount of a performance from a player when they're just not that. Like, you're expecting Adrian to play like Alisson. Why, when he hasn't got that ability?
Yeah.
When he literally cannot perform to that level, why are you expecting that? But that is what Adrian can do. He can put in a solid performance like that, and that's what he did. That's why I thought he was. I was made up when that game finished, and every time he was punching corners away. Like I said, Nick, just a solid performance from Adrian.
I mean, kick-ups, bro. He's got this, bro.
Did you see that? Did you see
this, bro? Just relax, bro. He's like, James, I got this, bro. I got this. Nah, listen. Shitting myself when I saw him in the lineup. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that's everyone. Everyone.
I was like, oh, mate. I would agree to a certain extent. Listen, I agree with what you say in terms of other people. I just hope that he himself knows that. I feel like sometimes he tries to be a bad replica of Alisson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes just know your limits. We don't need you to do what Alisson does. Like, sometimes we know you've not got footwork like that. I think he tried to give like Trent a ball when he was under pressure, and then it was one of them ones. And then afterwards, he's like, calm. Thinking, bro, Like, relax. Other than that, you know what I mean? I'm like, brother. No, but listen, other than that, like you said, dealt with one thing I won't take away from Alisson is he's a decent stop shopper.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's all right. It's everything else, his awareness in the box and like coming out and all of that. But no, you know, he was solid enough.
Just on the job.
I say that to say I pray Alisson's back in the sticks on Thursday, but like
or even Kelleher. Well, like if Kelleher is back, I'd rather him start above Adrian just because he's had a good performance. Doesn't mean I'm on the Adrian choo-choo train, but at the end of the day, if we're going to criticise him for when he's doing shit, you've got to give him the credit when he's doing well.
There was one shot. There was one close shot. I can't remember, and even I did. I was like, "Whoa, okay, well done, Adrian." Do you know what I mean? Like, listen, like, give him props, man. Clean sheet, man.
Defo. Big up to Big Six Rants, Big Six Band. Sorry, make sure that people go over and subscribe to their channel. That's absolutely marvelous. They're doing great work. I see you boys, and thank you for supporting this channel as well. Shout out to the boys there, and also shout out to one of the members, Captain Sal, who's in Scouts. Come on, Captain Sal. Really appreciate it. If you do want to become a member, people, you can do so by clicking the link in the description below Nick's channel, which if you click on that, subscribe, and then it takes you there. Boss. And then the last thing before we conclude on the game, and then we'll get into the Jurgen Klopp and Steven Gerrard stuff. I want to talk about Trent, and I want to talk about... There's no doubt he is in my opinion, if you want to disagree with me, people, that's fine, because that's what this channel is for. We are here to have a differentiation of opinions, and we come here and we find a conclusion. Whether that's agree to disagree, that's what we may do, but we find a conclusion nonetheless. For me, Trent is the best right-back in the league. He's the best right-back in world football. And just because he's been put in bad form, or he's been in bad form himself, I don't think you can overlook him and clearly say, yeah, you're not good enough no more, you're done, you're defending, will never be good enough. I feel like that is absurd, Nick. And I feel like it's been one of them with Trent. I've been realising week in, week out now, he's getting more confident going forward. He's finding more of a shape, whether it's system or whatnot, because I also saw a change in system from Klopp yesterday. I saw he was putting 5 men forward, and Trent was being very defensive in that. He was actually a part of like a back three. Type of thing. And then he'd go forward. Yeah. So, and then once that was done, he would go forwards and he was actually taking on men, getting chances, putting decent balls into the box. I think it's one of them with Trent where y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot who you were talking to.
And bumped your motherfucking head.
People mention like Cancelo and like his like unique role in the game and whatnot, but Trent has been doing a very similar role for years. The only difference is his age and the fact he's probably not as good defensively, but that can come with time. I think he's showing that again. While Robbo has been dropping performances, Trent has been going back to here, and it shows that these players have still got the quality. They're not done as a team. It's just the team's damaged. But I want to know what you thought of Trent's performance yesterday, Nick. And is he? Have you been seeing the same thing as me? Have you been seeing improvements? Because he had the poor first half. I feel like he's been redeeming himself slightly recently.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would agree, man. I think all we need from Trent is a little bit of consistency, which we're starting to see from now. I just wanted to ask you on the game. What I did watch. I can't remember what you said. What rating did you give Trent on that?
8. I gave Trent an 8 for the game overall. I thought he could have had a shout for man of the match, but because of Genie and Curtis, I didn't.
So I say that to say this because I think I gave him the same. I gave him 8, right? Which is good, but that's nowhere near. Do you know what I mean? Up there. But then, like when you look at it, for 73% passing, for 65 out of 89 passing, which was first in the game, for 3 chances created, which was first in the game. 103 touches, again, first in the game. 3 shots, second in the game. 2 out of 2 tackles, second in the game. 2 interceptions, that was the first for us. Wasn't dribbled past the whole game and kept a clean sheet. And we're just like, yeah, we'll give him an 8. Do you know what I mean? Like, if... you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the levels, like... That's the levels. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like Trent is levels, bro. Like if anyone else was putting up those, they'd be eulogizing like, yo, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Trent is that guy, and we just need.
He competes with himself. He's competing with himself. So when he's in bad form, we're only comparing him to what he usually can do.
That's it. It's pretty much what I'm saying. I will say he got a bit lazy. Listen. Trent is a human being, innit? And if I was a right back and I had a colossus like Van Dijk in the middle, and then on top of that, I then had Alisson in the sticks. If they get past that, listen, I probably, and because he's so forward-minded, he's always sometimes thinking, you know what, I'll go on, get it in. I know he'll knock it out. I'll give him a good outlet pass. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes when you've been like that for seasons, it's hard to knock that out of your game all of a sudden when you don't have, do you know what I mean, the people there that you was. So that's why he is a bit lazy. I'm not gonna like crosses do generally come in from that side, but I think there are reasons for that. But you know, I do think he is getting better. And like you said yesterday, he was tucking in like a right wing back situation, you know, a position that I know we haven't seen him in. And going forward, he was more variety, I would say, in his it wasn't just kind of just spamming, which we had seen before. It was real intelligence, switching it up, and I couldn't say much more, man. Like,
nah, I agree. Even from this comment, Trent is a good attacker, but as a defender, he is not the best, and Henderson helps him a lot when he tracks back in midfield. Very, very true, but it actually shouldn't take anything away from Trent. He's not a great defender at the young age that he is, but he's one of the best attacking players in the world, so we can make something out of that at the young age that he is. You mentioned Henderson. There's nothing wrong with Trent doing well in the system, and if Henderson covers him a lot, boss. But actually, all the more credit to Trent on recent form for being able to be sound defensively in a situation where he hasn't had that cover. He hasn't had a Fabinho. He hasn't had a Van Dijk next to him. And this is a young, developing player. He's not the complete article. I know he's won a Champions League. I know he's won a Premier League. I know he's been to a Champions League, 2 Champions League finals. But he's still not...
Helped kind of change the outlook of a... Like, you can't say what you want. Trent is like the poster boy, one of, do you know what I mean? Who's changed the whole like dynamic of that role. Do you know what I mean? You're looking for Trent-like players, do you know what I mean? As right back. So the kid's a baby. So do you know what I mean?
He's a baby lad. That's the thing. He's a fucking baby, and people talk about him like he's played the same amount of time as Dani Alves. Because we say, like, oh, yeah, Trent's the best right back in the world. And then people say Liverpool fans going on like he's Dani Alves. He's already done a lot of things that Dani Alves probably didn't do at this age.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it's one of them, man. It's mad. It's mad, and I love the fact that the only reason why I don't think he'll be captain is because I think it might be like a Curtis or another type of player. But in terms of a leader in the dressing room, he's going to be one for years to come. 100%. Trent Alexander-Arnold, no doubt about it. But 100%. Nick, Steven Gerrard and Jurgen Klopp, we'll talk about Jurgen Klopp first. And the only reason why Steven Gerrard is in that is because there was news reporting that with Jurgen Klopp's future looking even more in doubt. And I know it's not the news us Liverpool fans want to be talking about. Me and Nick, I can speak for Nick without even asking him the question. We are Klopp in. But there is news coming out and circulating that maybe possibly... basically, it's just becoming too much. And with certain things going on behind closed doors, Klopp could leave sooner rather than later. You know, we thought maybe he could have done a 7-year, 8-year to 10-year project at Liverpool. Now it's looking like that could be cut short. And the replacement is being talked about Steven Gerrard. First off, I want to get your thoughts on the talks itself. Then I'll say my thoughts, and then I want to know what you think about Steven Gerrard and if he was to be the replacement.
All right, so I'll go on to the talks itself. Firstly, yeah, mate, come on, telepathy. I ain't got to say nothing, man. Klopp in all day till the end of time, man. However, listen, with certain things that have been going on with the pandemic, with how we're living, it's now probably more of an example that some things are bigger than football. As much as I hate to say it, do you know what I mean? As much as like it's breaking my heart to even say that, but like that is life. Do you know what I mean? And this guy has given us absolutely everything. So it is heartbreaking to hear. Above all else, I do think that he's got a lot more to give. But I understand it. But it's with a heavy heart, man. I wouldn't, begrudge him. I wouldn't begrudge him.
No, 100%.
In terms of the Gerrard stuff, obviously, I'm a Northwest boy, but I now live in Scotland, so I'm getting a chance to obviously see Gerrard a little bit closer than others would. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing in terms of the style of play in which he's playing, and even the way he's utilising the squad in which he's got. Do you know what I mean?
That's,
like
Nick, that's very interesting that you've just said that, because did you just say you live in Scotland?
I live in Scotland now.
That's mad. I didn't know that, to be fair. So yeah, so you're obviously hearing more things.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think then, because my perception, and by the way, well said on Jurgen Klopp, because I'm in the same boat. It's like, I obviously don't want him to go, but listen, mate, there is just things bigger in football, and if life is kind of becoming a bit too much, I am, as a person, and as the fact I love him so much for what he's done for this club, yeah, man, you do what you need to do, Jurgen. No personal thing out there. When it comes to Steven Gerrard as a replacement, I cannot believe the start and the impact he's had on his managerial career. I can't believe it, Nick. This is where I look at it, though. Tactically, this is just my opinion. I am still unsure, just because I don't watch them week in, week out, so I'd like you to correct me on that. But I also know this is Steven motherfucking Gerrard that we're talking about. So what we're talking about, what Curtis could become, Steven Gerrard already is that. And one thing I know, without even watching Rangers, just seeing them fucking results alone, seeing the way they fight for the manager, like in a Jurgen Klopp way, Steven Gerrard is that presence, and he gets the players to play for them. He has that attitude. Just seeing Steven Gerrard in the dressing room enough is more than enough motivation for a player to go out on that pitch and put their fucking head into the ground. But that's why I wanted to ask you, Nick, what is he like tactically? What's the areas of his? Is there any similarities to Klopp?
There's a lot. No, there's a lot of similarities. Even in the situation, I see a lot of similarities in the situation. Bro, we hadn't won the Premier League in 30 years. Like, it was a massive thing. It was a big thing. You gotta understand that, like, Celtic were on the cusp of like 10 in a row, bro. Like, it's a big thing. To stop that is massive. And the way in which he talks to the press, the way in which he talks to the players, like, that isn't even a thing. Like, we don't think about that. It's just what we're doing. It's one game at a time. They're unbeaten in the league. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're doing big things in terms of, like, tactically as well, how they play. Like I said, he doesn't have a massive squad. Even like his utilizing of certain players like Morelos, who isn't very well disciplined, to say the least. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
he's a bit reckless, yeah.
Very reckless, on and off the pitch, and like I've just like the way he doesn't oust them. Do you know what I mean? And he's got Morelos. He's turned him into a different player. Do you know what I mean? And like, I'm just looking at him. I'm loving what he's doing. However, and I'm getting a closer look. I'm getting a closer.
No, I can't wait to hear it, because I don't want to jump on this bandwagon. And by the way, just dead quick before you finish your point, Nick, people are saying Jurgen isn't leaving until 2024. No, that's just his contract. A lot's happened since he signed that contract. So we're having the discussion because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We're just talking about who's the most likely replacement. Steven Gerrard's being brought up. Let's talk about whether we think it's good enough or not. That's mad that, Nick. Go on, carry on your point, sorry.
Yeah, man. So like I said, like I get to see him up here a lot. Do you know what I mean? Closer, and I like it. Like, even in Europe, bro, there was a game that was like 4-2 down. No, there was like 3-2 down. Come back 1-4. Like, he's playing some real, like, do you know what I mean? Real football, some real do or die football. However, bro, Gerrard is my idol. Like, I love Gerrard. Like, I know you do, James. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
mate, don't even start.
Mate, and I still, as much as he's doing, and let's be honest, like, they pretty much won the league, it's still not enough. Not for me. And I only say that not really because of Gerrard. I do trust him. However, I still want him to have a little bit more time, because I've seen this. This has panned out. We saw this with Lampard. Like, we've seen this with Oli. Do you know what I mean? Come and go. I love Gerrard too much to just feed him to the Lions. Do you know what I mean? It's a very big job. It's a massive job, man. And I just feel like there's still. Do you know what I mean? Like, just give him that time. Don't rush him in, is what I would say. And I'm only saying that. If I didn't have the affiliation for him, I would say, no, perfect. Let's get him in. Do you know what I mean? It's just because I love him, and I just, oh, mate, do you know what I mean?
Do you know what, Nick? You've kind of made me think there, because here's the thing. If you want to write the story, Steven Gerrard, he spends a few years at Rangers, gets experience. Jurgen Klopp stays at Liverpool, wins a few more trophies. Jurgen Klopp leaves. Gerrard comes in, because now he's got a bit more managerial experience under his belt. He's won a few trophies. He's gained a bit more confidence. Now the Liverpool manager, we can give this a proper go. Then he wins that Premier League that he's always not won with Liverpool as a player. But if he won it as a manager, we're claiming it. Gerrard, we can now say the sentence, Steven Gerrard has won a trophy with Liverpool damn football club. That's the storyline that we all want to see. And that would be a beautiful storyline. If I died knowing that was a storyline in my lifetime, yeah, man. No doubt about it. But here's the thing. We didn't expect certain things to go on. You can never predict, for example, deaths within families. You can never predict that. There are things that kind of pop up out the blue. Other circumstances, frustrations of Jurgen Klopp towards the board, maybe. That's one thing that he could be really frustrated about. He's not getting the backing as well as other managers. There might be other jobs that might be tempting him in the not too distant future. Obviously not too soon, but, jobs like the Germany job. There's many factors.
He didn't have that rest before he had remember?
He didn't have it. He came back into job very, very early. There's many little factors that come into it. So even though we want this storyline of Steven Gerrard coming in, and I know what you're saying, let's not get him in straight away. We also can't. It's kind of like you can't just get it how you want. Like I remember I was in primary school. Yes, some people might have heard this story, but the teacher was coming around and they were giving us like ice creams and whatnot. You know what I mean? And I didn't mind. I loved ice cream as a kid, but I didn't like chocolate ice cream that much. Only when I was little. I love it. I love it now, mate. But as a kid, it was a bit kind of one of them. The teachers came round, she gave me a chocolate ice cream, and I was like, oh, miss, is it all right if I have like a strawberry one just because I don't like chocolate? And she looked at me, and do you know what she said, Nick? She said, you get what you're given. You get what you're given. And in this instance, it's like, we can't just want Steven Gerrard right now in our team, or in a few years in our team, because, he's got a bit more experience by then. We need to look at it from a proper point of view that the time that the best chance to get him may be this summer, maybe the summer after.
But
for when you... Let me present the question then, Nick. Who do we get? I'm not disagreeing. I'm just asking you the question. Sometimes we might have to do a move a bit too premature because we're going to give more support to Gerrard than what Chelsea did to Lampard. It's a ticking time bomb at Chelsea for when a manager's going to get sacked. Lampard could have won the league in his first season and not. But Gerrard, he'd get backed. I'm only playing devil's advocate. I feel like it would be too soon. But I'm just saying, you can't just want it the way you want it.
Hold on a second. Let me just pick up on that point. Gerrard, he'll get backed. But Klopp ain't getting backed.
No, he's not getting investment, but I mean, he's going to get given time. He's going to get given time, is what I mean.
He'll get given time. He'll get given time, and I hear what you're saying. It's a whole different structure, club structure than it is Chelsea. I would say they've just sacked. Celtic have just sacked Lennon. Let's see.
Didn't he leave? Didn't he resign?
I think it was by mutual consent. To be fair,
yeah, mutual consent. Yeah. He didn't want to be that first manager.
That's what it was. And it was a bit of politics, but behind closed doors, I think they gave him the boot. But they're the giant force in Scotland. Let's see who they get in, and they're gonna make a real run for this next year. They've got a point to prove. Now, I say this, James. Listen. If Gerrard can win it back to back, bro, get him in now. Get him in.
Get him in. So you're just saying, one more season. One more season where I can see a bit more. Yeah.
That do you know what I mean? I need him, and I don't mean this badly, but I need him to go through a little bit more turbulence. Do you know what I mean? Like I need him to to come back from. Just let me see what he does in this second season. Mate, if he smashes it, bruv, get him in.
Get him in. Nah, don't get me wrong. I'm in the same boat as you, Nick. I only wanted to bring up that other argument is because I do understand some people will want him to get like 3 or 4 years of first team manager experience. It's just football doesn't always work out that way. You always don't get it how you want. Like you think about like a lot of young players that you think about signing. Oh, imagine if we got this player just a little bit sooner. It's like you can't think of it like that.
And like, you could get him and it could work. I'm just trying to give a little bit of intuition. You know what I mean,
no, I agree with you. In fact, Nick, I actually want to ask you as well. If he was to leave this summer, Jurgen Klopp, What other options would you be looking at? Would you be looking at maybe in the Gelsman? Would you maybe look at someone else within La Liga, another Premier League manager? Where else would you look if you wasn't comfortable with Steven Gerrard just yet?
I would say, right, if we were going for like another way, let's just go, do you know what I mean, for another, I would say Nagelsmann. Let's go for Nagelsmann. If we were going with one eye on Gerrard, I would say Linders, because we know that, do you know what I mean, slipping Gerrard in would be quite easy that way, do you know what I mean? In that sense, it depends what we were saying. If we had our eye on Gerrard, then give Pep a year or so or whatever, do you know what I mean? From what Klopp says, and Klopp is Messiah, Klopp says he's the guy. Klopp says he's the guy. So do you know what I mean? That's why I say that. But if we were just going for another manager, I really like the way Nagelsmann plays. I think he's like you said before, he's been wearing Klopp pajamas from back in the day. So it'd be a nice
facts. You know, he reads his stories. He's inspired. That's his hero. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be a nice transition.
It's nice. It's nice to be nice, but it's like people are saying here, we better not sack Klopp. I don't think we'll even sack him. We can finish outside the top 7.
I think he holds the cards. I think it's like, listen, bro.
That's it.
What you
He's
say?
in contract, so I don't know how that works. But I mean, if he goes to the board and says, "Boys, I just can't do it no more. I need to have at least a year off football before I even think
take a hiatus. I take a. What do they call that?
That would be like a hiatus, like just for a bit. You know, you go away and then you come back.
Freshen up.
Do you know what's mad? I wouldn't mind that, but wouldn't that be weird seeing Jurgen Klopp go and then just come back? Has that been done before?
I don't know, bro, but I would love
level.
I don't think so, but he's good enough of a manager to be able to start something like. Do you know what I mean? I think, bro, imagine a refreshed Klopp. Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, what about this then, Nick? Yeah, because maybe that's what we might need. We might need a refreshed Klopp, because recently you can question a lot of his decisions. And I'm not saying I want him gone, people. Please don't twist this. But if he is to go, then we could look at it. Maybe he goes. Maybe he promotes Pep Linders or whatever to the first team manager for that season. And then Jurgen Klopp comes back or whatever.
Finishes his tenure and then comes back and says, listen, you know, I'm giving it 3 years or whatever, boom, boom, boom. And then, do you know what I mean? In the background, I know all my Celtic fans up here, I'm going to die tomorrow. But in the background, Gerrard's winning multiple champions. Do you know what I mean? It's lovely, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh, mate. Yeah, how about this then, Nick? Before we move on to the Chelsea game and looking ahead there. If Gerrard wins the Europa League, would you feel a little bit more confident?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on,
You went, yeah. He started to unburn a boy. Yeah. That's what you were doing, man. If he wins that Europa League, yeah.
Nah.
Oh my God, Nick. Guess who else is in the Europa League? Manchester to the United. Imagine. Oh my God, imagine.
Oh, bruv.
Oh my days. People imagine.
The way they've been playing as well, that's not even fantasy, bro. They are, honestly, Rangers are on stuff, bro. Like,
they beat Benfica comfortably.
Bruv. They are... Don't
serious. We need to stop it. We need to stop it before we do madness. Because at this rate, people might say, do you know what? Right now, you need Jurgen Klopp after what these are saying, but that's not what we want to do. We love Jurgen, do you know what I mean? He's our manager for life, mate. There's no doubt about it. Oh my God.
I mean, everyone knows what we're saying. It's all just a bit of tongue in cheek, man. Like,
bit of banter, you know what I mean? But obviously, shout out to our Stevie, and of course, all the best wishes to Jurgen, because he must still be going through a tough time as well. But looking ahead to Chelsea, I just want to talk about how we're going to set up in this game. You know, there's a few rumours of players that could come back. Jota was meant to be back for the previous game, but because of illness, couldn't make it. Fabinho,
our luck's just rotten, innit?
It's mad. But, you know, we're Excuses FC. Haters will say we're Excuses FC, but it is what it is. Fabinho's coming back. Apparently, maybe that could be the case. So I want to ask you, if Fabinho's fit, if Jota's fit, how do you, Nick, set out against Chelsea? Because there's a few little possibilities we can go with here. You can, if they're fit, you can put Fabinho back into midfield. If so, what do you do there? You've got Naby Keita. He's available for this game. He could fit in somewhere. What would you do? How would you line up?
Right.
And I'm not asking what do you think. I'm not asking what do you think. How would you line up?
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. I really liked the way we played. That fluidity. That fluidity was like, it was like water. You know, like we got it back.
Yeah.
Like it's not sticking in there. You're like, where's Robbo? Where's he? Where's he playing? And then where's?
He's like a left wing. Yeah.
Bro, loved it, and I need more of that. I would love, like everyone else, like the telepathy. I know you. I know everyone else. I would love Fabinho back in the midfield, but, bruh, Kabak ain't no one, bro. Like, no, I'm not even.
You're not convinced?
No, bro, I'm not gonna pile in. I don't think I'm not gonna start. You know, I think we've got a little bit of time
we can have a good little debate here about Kabak.
Yeah, but I don't think right now. I think he's a bit of a ball watcher and would just find himself missing. I don't rate Werner's goal scoring, but someone like Werner's movement, someone like Giroud's kind of bullying, bro, I just feel like we need Fabinho, especially for this game, back. To be very honest with you, between me and you,
it's a good point.
I don't think Fabinho's going to play DM for the rest of the season, but anyways.
I agree, yeah.
That's just what it is. But definitely for this game, I think we need him back in the as a centre back. I will hope that Keita is good to go, because I don't know about you, James. James, bruv, you look tasty, bruv. I know.
Hey, his little cameo.
I had a little I had shout out to man them that I had a little live today, and one of them said today, it was like, you know, it's different coming on at 2-0. And I said, yeah, okay, I get it. He did bring me back to but in saying that, he looked tasty, bro. Like the little step overs and that, and we need that. We need a fucking box to box, bro. We need a box to box. Like we need Genie to hold the ball and do that. We can't rely on Genie's transition. We need a fucking box to box. I mean, so in the midfield, I would go Genie, I would go Keita to start. Curtis! So that means
Curtis! Party! Yeah, man.
Unfortunately, I would sit down Thiago. I'd like for him to come on kind of, do you know what I mean, second half, whatever, just change up the game. See how it's going with Keita and that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much. And then what in terms of the front line?
If Jota's fit as well.
Oh, if Jota's fit, bro, don't ask me no questions, bruv. Like, if Jota's fit.
Is he starting for you?
If Jota's fit, what you're asking me is who's not playing. That's what you're asking me.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And where are you playing them?
I'm not gonna lie, right? I'm not gonna take this. Like, I'm one of those ones that I never just, do you know what I mean? I got a shout out where I found it. So shout out to Klopp'S man, and shout out Callum and that.
The boys.
He was making me think with this whole Mane on the right, Jota in the on the left,
and Salah in the middle.
I was like, bro, I do like that. If, in all honesty, I think that's more likely to happen than, I think one of two things. Either Bobby don't get dropped, no one gets dropped, and he does that Man City formation and tries to fit them all in, or he does what we say, because I don't think that he's going to put Origi through the centre. I would maybe like to see that, but I just don't even know if, because I know of how unlikely it is, I just maybe don't even toy with it. You know, them ones there. I would maybe like the Jota on the left. That would be different. And do you know what I mean?
That's what we need. The thing is, the saying is, don't fix what's not broken, except everything's broken right now. So we need to try and change things. We're on the floor, mate. We've literally just been TKO'd to fuck, and we've just got back up, and we've been TKO'd again. We've now been dropped down twice. You know, we can't get dropped down a third time, otherwise we're out of this battle. We need to get back into this fight, and we can do that, but we need to make changes, and we can't just be naive to, oh, well, it worked last year, so it's going to work now.
Well, we just beat 2-0, so they'll be all right. Let's roll on and do the same.
We can't get too carried away. We cannot get too carried away. This is a very informed Chelsea team. You know, I'm even going to give Chelsea a bit of props before I say how I think we should line up. Werner, problem. Has he been scoring goals? No. Is he the best striker in the league? No. Is he even the best striker at Chelsea? Probably not. Could be Giroud. Who knows? But at the end of the day, he is still a problem. And he is not coming up against a Van Dijk. He's not coming up against a Gomez. He's not coming up against a Matip. He's coming up against a centre-back who was playing for 20th place team in the Bundesliga. And he's coming up against either a Nat Phillips or a Ben Davies, who may also be injured for this game. But even if he's fit, it still shouldn't really pour too much doubt into Timo Werner.
He's not losing a night's sleep, is he? Let's be honest.
No, he's not. He knows Virgil's not going to be there, whatnot. And then there's other players as well. Ziyech, I feel like he could be a problemo. Hudson-Odoi, he's been doing well for the manager. Even his tactics has been fantastic. Is he out? Who's
injured? Hudson-Odoi, injured last game.
Okay, well, even if he's injured, then you've got Pulisic. Like, they've got options. They've got Mount, Ziyech. They've got many options there to cause us a real ish in this game, we'll say. Tactically as well, I don't think he's a better manager tactically than Klopp, Tuchel, but if there's a game where we could be likely to not have as much possession, it's probably this one. Chelsea have been doing very well at controlling games, and they've got the players to do so. It's just a different kettle of fish when you're playing Liverpool. However, this is the way I think we should line up, and then I'm going to say how I think we will. I would go with, obviously, if Alisson or Kelleher is available, sound. But if Alisson isn't available, fine. And if Kelleher is still injured, sweet. We have to go with Adrian. Back four, Robbo, Trent, Kabak, and Nat Phillips for me. If Ben Davies is available, then I still wouldn't quite play him yet. I feel like that's a bit of a rough start. Because bear in mind, he still hasn't played yet. Yes, he's been in training, but he hasn't played a minute of football for the first team.
It'll be for the Wolves, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, mate. And you don't want him to do a mistake, and then people start thinking, well, he's shit, so I'm not going to give any faith into it. No, let's not do that. Let's put Nat, let's put Kabak. Let's actually try and build a partnership, because you mentioned Kabak before. The only issue I've seen from Kabak is communication with the goalkeeper and the other centre-back. Obviously, on the ball, he does not look the best. Is he quick? No, he's not. But he is also 20, and he could also improve his IQ. He could learn quite quick on the job. Young people can learn very quick. They can catch on to things quicker.
Do you remember that McBurney, or was it? I think it was McBurney chance when he was just caught just watching, and he got round the back of him, and he had the little touch, and luckily, do you know what I mean? He was able to. It's just that if we've got like you said, Werner's not a goal poacher, but the movement, the Tamier, like they do a lot of razzle dazzle that I feel like he might just find himself like.
But there's no evidence. There's no evidence that. There's no evidence, basically, that's going to... Do you know what, actually? I'm going to change that. I'm going to put Kabak on Fabinho. And
sorry, mate, I just fucked up your whole shit.
What?
I just messed up. You were like, yeah, and then
Nah, it's sweet. No, that's what you need to do, Nick, because I'm not just... I'll say my opinion, and I'm going to stick with that. I am very open-minded to being...
But you know what I mean, innit?
Changing it.
It's
a huge fucking game. A big game... Nick, a big game is an understatement, my friend. This is a huge game of football, my friend. When you talk about we need to win this game. These are our competitors.
Way bigger than it was at Stamford Bridge. Way bigger.
Way bigger. There's not even a comparison, because they are our competitors. I do a show called The Rival Watch. They are our rivals.
Check that out, guys.
Like, do you get what I mean? It's one of them things, bro, where I think I'll go with Fabinho. I agree. We need someone at the back who's going to have a level head of experience. The reason why I'm putting Kabak next to him is because from that game onwards, I'd like to try and see Kabak and Nat Phillips build a little partnership.
Cool. What we got? Fulham? Yeah,
Fulham, all them types of build a little partnership there. But when you're talking about these type of players, like, fair enough. So Fabinho, Kabak, Robbo, Trent, and Adrian in goal. Midfield, the way I do it, Curtis, first name on the team sheet when it comes to the midfield selection, in my opinion. I would have put Fabinho there, but with a bit of influence, and you've changed my mind. Gini Wijnaldum also gets into that team, into that side. Does he need a rest? Yes. But after the performance like that against Sheffield, we need someone who can retain the ball. We need someone who can have good ball retention and take that ball away from Chelsea and keep it off them, more important. Gini can do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Then you start delving into other options. So we've got Gini so far, Curtis. I'm going to put Naby Keita into this side. Let me tell you why. I'm going to put Gini in the 6. I'm going to put Curtis and Naby just in front of him. And believe me when I say this, I don't know what approach Jurgen Klopp wants to take going forward, but I feel like that just will be sauce, barbecue sauce at the highest of levels, my friend. That is different. When I'm telling you, like, and people are laughing at the fact I'm dropping Thiago. Not
we
as
both
much
did.
to do with.
We
We've
both
done it. Listen, mate.
I love this guy. Bro,
it's no hate on Thiago. It's just Naby Keita is a baller as well. Listen, y'all must have forgot. Naby Keita was signed for £50 million. He was a big signing. He was balling in the Bundesliga. Even Jurgen Klopp said at the time, the two players that I would love to manage most is Thiago and Keita, before he even got them. So there's substance to that. And with Naby Keita, he actually plays well when he's implemented into the squad. He puts in a good shift. He's good on the ball. He has that creative side of things that we've been lacking recently. So I'm fine with Naby Keita going in the team.
He's like everything we've been lacking, bro.
Listen, bro. If we've got Henderson fit, Curtis, Genie, everyone fit in the midfield, then Thiago gets into that place, because with the right players around him, oh my days, mate, Thiago is a game dictator. But when he's coming into a depleted team, a depleted starting 11, there's no doubt about it. You've got to also look at circumstances. I don't think Thiago's been the whole problem. I'm surprised he's being talked about as much as he is. He was signed for 20 million.
Can I just say though, I do think sometimes, not so much the last game, but a couple of the games before, in terms of our transition, Thiago isn't a box-to-box midfielder. That's not what he is. That's not how he facilitates the team. And with Genie being, do you know what I mean? The ball kind of is slower. I think having Keita right next to him, he has a free outlet. It's like all you have to do. There's no one in the league that keeps the ball better than Genie. Genie, keep the ball. Make sure that we've got our possession. Kick it over to Keita and let Keita just run with it. Do the, do you know what I mean? The passes. Yeah. I feel like Mane comes out of his shell a bit when Keita's on. Man, I'm all for it, bro. Bring Keita on.
I agree. And then the front three. So that would be my midfield: Curtis, Genie in the 6, and then Naby Keita. And then the front three.
How you going?
Yeah, I saw Callum's thing the other day as well, and he gave me just a different outlook to Mane, and
yeah, me too.
He's not doing the bits on the left, but he could probably do them on the right, and it's so different to when. No, and I know people might think that's like, James, you've got no substance when you say that. No, like the last time he played right wing, he played very well for many different reasons. He weren't just cutting inside, and when he was cutting inside, he was able to complete a lot more of his passes, because the pass would most likely be put from his right foot. And it was more accurate. He was finding people, and it was also the fact he would cut in on his left type of thing, and then he's zigzagging back into the box.
Yeah,
and he done that a lot. That was the season I called him the best player in the world.
Yeah, because when he was playing right wing, on toast.
He was just balling, you know what I mean? So whether you think of that, agree with that statement or not, that's the reason it was when he was playing right wing. So now we come back to this point. It's like Sadio Mane, he's not in great form. We know that. So let's try and change a little bit of something. Mo Salah, he's our striker anyway. Get him up front. And then Jota, the most informed man of the season. I don't feel like there's much debate. And even though Firmino was actually the best of a shit bunch against Sheffield,
I would agree.
He's not taking his chances.
Not in terms of he was the best all round, but in terms of attacking, he was probably. I mean, it's hard to say he was near the worst because he scored, but did he really score though? Do you know what I mean? Like, he's still not doing enough. So I feel like there's more than we're more than adequate in order to say that. Just listen, Bobby, you need to. And I also feel like he's more effective when he comes off the bench. If I'm honest with you.
Yeah. By the way, fuck you, Jordan. Fuck you. Read that sentence. Don't read it out loud, but read that sentence. Thought that she was going to get me. Chatting genitals and all that. You fucking. Fuck you, Jordan. Fuck you, Jordan. But people, make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you subscribe.
I didn't think we would. But yeah.
Have we gone man for man, same team? Yeah. Bloody hell, he's right. That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, that's not bad. Listen, we all need a change, man. We just need to just chug on, man. Right?
Defo.
Tell me that back-to-back with one of them being Chelsea at home is not like, yo, that would be what we need. Do you know what I mean?
It's that it could be the momentum that just builds going forward. Do you get what I mean, Nick?
Come
might
on,
just
man.
need it. But people, before we wrap it up, Nick, I would like to get your score prediction. People smashing in the live chat as well. I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
2-1. 2-1. We'll do them. 2-1.
Okay, I'm going to say it could change tomorrow when I do my preview, but I'm going to say, do you know what? I'm going to be optimistic. We're going to end the show on a high. I've really enjoyed this show, Nick. I'm going to say 2-0. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. 2-0. 2-0. 2 goals. Clean sheet. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm seeing a lot of 2-1. There, 2-1 Chelsea there. 2-0. 3 little different score lines. Come at the boys. But people, before we wrap it up, that's the score predictions. We've gone through all the things we wanted to talk about. It's been a great show. This show is now going to be coming on a Monday and a Friday. My man Nick's always going to be joining me. We might have another guest on every once in a while, but this is the dream team. We've had a great show today, people.
Yeah, I've loved it, man.
And also, again, sorry about earlier for being a little bit later. That will not happen in future. We'll always do this show between around 6 to 8, and it'll be on the Mondays and the Fridays, just so in future, because I know a lot of people like this show, but they don't know when it's on. There you go. Now you have an idea of when to be here. The only time that will change is if we're playing on a Friday or a Monday, which we very rarely do. So shouldn't be too much of a problem. But people, thank you once more for everyone coming into the chat. Before we do go, Saint LFC TV, link is in the description. Nick's channel. Come on, people, go and support the boy. Let's get him to 200 subscribers and let's do it ASAP. It'd really mean a lot to me and him if you could do so. But smash a like once more. Subscribe. Thank you for watching. Any last words, Nick?
Come on, the fucking boys!
Ah! Come on, the boys!